In a world shaken by conflict, where violence rises and communities struggle to hold on to hope, there is a place still teaching us another way. For 57 years, the King Center has carried forward a legacy, not as history, but as a blueprint for the future.
Students with King builds on that foundation. In 2025, young minds across the globe gathered for the Students with King Reading Corner, engaging more than 1,000 schools, inspiring a generation to read, reflect, and rise. The King Center also served as a virtual classroom featuring teach-in resources, a spotlight series, and civil rights talks that reached educators and youth in the United States and abroad. Through the Be Loved Community Leadership Academy, leaders learned the 6 principles and 6 steps of nonviolence, not as theory, but as a daily practice, a discipline, a way of life.
The information that I am learning in this program, I take back to my home school, and I try to educate my own friends so we can all build a beloved community and live in the World House peacefully.
In a time when faith communities are too often divided, the Better Together Initiative united global participants, Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, Seekers, standing shoulder to shoulder for the beloved community. And in the corporate world, the Atlanta Dream stepped forward, embedding nonviolence into their culture, their leadership, and their commitment to inclusion.
There's answers in that curriculum. It's how you apply it that matters.
When I moved to the US, I struggled with low self-esteem and that. The whole training has given me a safe space. It's like a therapy for me.
When wildfires devastated communities in California, the King Center partnered with the Atlanta Dream in restoring one's hope of Atlanta, packing care packages and sending hope across the country.
The King Center, in partnership with the King's Table and New Birth Missionary Baptist Church, brought food, dignity, and hope to Atlanta families.
We want the world to know today that although the shutdown is over, we have not shut down our compassion.
From Atlanta to Montgomery, the King Center's fellows, interns, scholars, and Beloved Community Leadership Academy students walk the path of history, encountering the past, learning its lessons, and carrying its courage into the present.
In a world growing more violent, the King Center is growing something stronger. This is the work. This is the moment. And together, we build the beloved community.
Students with King serves as the King Center's flagship engagement platform for elementary, middle, and high school students, highlighting the legacies of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Mrs. Coretta Scott King, and the impact of the 20th century American Civil Rights Movement. Our dynamic and interactive programming has reached over 1 million students worldwide. Our core learning programs introduce students to the philosophy of Kingian nonviolence, coined Nonviolence 365, and provide important lessons about how they can apply nonviolence in their immediate environments. Whether you're an educator who is looking for ways to bring the King legacy into your classroom, a student who wants to learn more about this powerful moral movement, or a parent who wants to get your child involved in character building and literacy development activities, Students with King is your one-stop shop for unique lesson plans, teaching resources, educational field trips, and other opportunities to engage with the history of the American Civil Rights Movement and its powerful leaders. We look forward to engaging with you and your students. Together we can build the next generation of compassionate, courageous, and conscientious leaders.
Good morning, students and teachers, and welcome to the first edition of Students with King Reading Corner of 2026. It is a great day. It is a great month. We just wrapped up KHO holiday a couple of weeks ago. Now we have officially settled in February, which is Black History Month. And guys, we have an amazing edition of Students with King Reading Corner planned for you guys today. But before we start, of course, you guys know what we have to do. We have to do the state roll call. We got to know where you guys are tuning in from. So go ahead and hit that comment section, type in where you guys are tuning in from, type in your state, your city, your school, your classroom, teacher's name, all that good stuff. We want to know where you guys are joining us from today. Oh, looks like we already got some people tuning in with us. We got Stephanie Houston. It says, blessed good morning. Blessed as well to my King Center family watching from Dundalk, MD. Okay, Maryland. All right. I think our author is from Maryland too. So, okay, we got somebody tuning in from Birmingham, Alabama. Good morning. Appreciate y'all so much for joining us today. Tanae Jones, guys, good morning from Mrs. Barth's class, Atlanta Public Schools. Okay, APS. Appreciate y'all so much tuning in this morning. And guys, we also have our QR code as well. We encourage you guys to scan that QR code and you guys can take our survey for Students with King Reading Corner. Go ahead, let us know what you guys think of today's program. So the QR code is in the top corner of the broadcast, and then you guys can go ahead and scan that, put your cell phones up to that, scan that, and you guys can take our survey as well. So we are super excited about that. So let's go ahead and talk about what we have planned for you guys today. And the author that I'm going to introduce you guys to is Donald Wilmer. He is an award-winning educator, mentor, and author from Baltimore, Maryland. He will be reading his book, The Unbreakable Book, A Kid's Guide to Resilience and Hope for a Better Tomorrow. So let's go ahead and bring him in now. Give him a warm round of applause. Donald, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. Great to be with you guys. Good morning, everybody.
Oh, yeah, of course. And you are no stranger to Students with King Reading Corner. We've had you on before for some of your other books, so we are excited to have you on for this one as well. So talking about The Unbreakable Book this time. So let's go ahead, get into the book reading, and then, guys, at the end, make sure you guys are preparing questions because we'll do a Q&A at the end. So let's go ahead and get started.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so this is my latest book. It's called The Unbreakable Book, A Kid's Guide to Resilience and Hope for a Better Tomorrow by Donald Wilmer, myself, and also illustrated by Cameron Wilson. This book is dedicated to the 92%. Election season is over. Yesterday was the big day. Cameron and Mia wake up to see what the television has to say. The sisters are suddenly heartbroken as they witness the breaking news. The president-elect is not someone they thought America would choose. I know the election was fair, Mia says with tears in her eyes, but it seems like we're going back to when our ancestors were alive. Disappointed, hopeless, and wondering how this could be, Mia takes it the hardest as she worries about the country. Cameron is the older sister, so she is much calmer and wise. She takes Mia by the hand to show that she does empathize. This news may hurt right now, but pain only lasts for a season. Our people have always overcome hard times for many different reasons. Feeling quite intrigued by what her older sister said, Mia wants to learn more as the girls sit together on the bed. Cameron is encouraged to share some lessons from the past, so the sisters take a journey back in time to learn why this pain won't last. Our story of resilience started a long time ago. While slavery did exist, there is much more that you should know. Our ancestors were once kings and queens with royalty and wealth. Africa was the most beautiful land in the world, if I do say so myself. The Middle Passage was a period of sudden, drastic change. Our people were forced onto ships, and their lives were never the same. Although this time of suffering was difficult to survive, our ancestors who became enslaved always kept hope alive. A new nation was born, and the colonies were finally free. One thing that didn't change was the acceptance of slavery. Courageous leaders spoke out, wanting a better life. Abolitionists continued to persevere despite the challenges and strife. Let's meet Harriet Tubman. Do you know what she did? She led the enslaved to freedom. The Underground Railroad is where they hid. Harriet's fight for freedom certainly came at a cost. She risked her life and showed courage, but her hope was never lost. Our people fought for justice during the Civil War. The North and South were divided on who true freedom was for. President Lincoln and Frederick Douglass spoke out for what was right. Slavery was then abolished, and there was more hope in sight. The good news arrived in Texas, although it was a little late. That's why every year on Juneteenth is a day we love to celebrate. Segregation was evident, and there was still more work to do. Jim Crow laws existed, and discrimination only grew. Although progress was made, our ancestors hoped for the better. They knew that we deserved equal rights, regardless of our skin color. Voting was an important way to make our voices heard. Not everyone could vote in America, and that was quite absurd. We fought against oppression, and because of this, I should note, our fight secured new rights like citizenship and the right to vote. Leaders like Sojourner Truth spoke for justice bold and true. Her voice and fight helped pave the way for women voting too. You would think that life improved for us, but we were still a threat. So let me tell you about the Civil Rights Movement, a time we should never forget. Inequities still existed in almost every aspect of life, but leaders like Coretta Scott King were more than just a wife. She too spoke out for justice. When peaceful protests began, many boycotts and marches happened, united to take a stand. Groups like the Divine Nine and the NAACP fought for equal rights for people like you and me. There goes Claudette Colvin. Do you know why she's important to us? Just like Rosa Parks, she refused to give up her seat on a segregated bus. Although there were sad stories like the death of Emmett Till, his mother, Mammy, inspired us by showing that bravery and strength are real. We had hard times in the past, but the dream was never lost. John Lewis and Andrew Young also knew that equality comes at a cost. As friends of Dr. King, they always stood by his side. Their impact also continued even after Martin died. Let's meet Ruby Bridges. She's a kid, as you can see. Just like the Little Rock Nine, she wanted schools to be fair and free. Some people opposed equality and harbored hatred in their hearts, but we always stood together and remembered to do our part. Brown versus Board of Education broke barriers for us all. Thurgood Marshall argued a case that helped segregation fall. He later became a Supreme Court justice, the first Black one, to be clear. Soon there were other firsts, and that deserves a cheer. There goes Shirley Chisholm. She's unbought and unbossed. She was the first Black Congresswoman and wasn't anyone you wanted to cross. She had the guts to run for president, but the time wasn't quite right. Shirley proved that girls can succeed if they have the will to fight. Working hard to break new barriers was what we always strived to do. Like Carol Moseley Braun, the first Black female senator who served as an ambassador too. Life was never perfect, but more progress was being made. Perhaps the biggest victory happened, and you'll find that on the next page. Our people made history again in the year 2008. The first Black president was elected here in the United States. The White House, built by enslaved people who sacrificed a lot, was occupied by none other than Michelle and Barack. The Obamas gave us hope through their historic win. If someone said it was impossible, we told them, yes, we can. This presidency was special, and there was much to be proud of. The Supreme Court even made history when it affirmed that love is love. Things were looking up, or at least that's what we thought. We learned that when our light shines, others will try to keep us in the dark. Though challenges persisted, we overcame once again. Meet the first Black female justice, and her name is Ketanji Brown Jackson. We've always been resilient, and our setbacks never last. That's why we should know our history and progress from the past. There's one more person you should meet, and I saved her for the end. She showed us what true excellence is, and that when we fight, we win. Do you know who I just mentioned? Kamala Harris is her name. She broke down many barriers and inspired others to do the same. She attended an HBCU and pledged to AKA. As Attorney General and U.S. Senator, she advocated for the people every day. As the first Black female vice president, she led with class and grace. Her presidential campaign was joyful during a 107-day race. Kamala fought to protect democracy and made it okay to laugh. While she achieved many firsts, she will certainly not be the last. That was amazing, Mia says, with a big smile on her face. You knew so much about history and told our story with grace. We'll be just fine, says Cameron, despite the election result. Our stories bring us hope, and that's why they were taught. So hold your head up high, keep the faith, and never fear. Our past has proven over and over that brighter days are always near. Resilience is in our blood. Our history can't be erased. Our diversity is the power we have that no one can replace. From the glorious lands of Africa to the journey across the seas, from slavery, wars, and protest to presidential nominees. We are strong, we are united, we are full of heart and soul. We are not going back, and that's why we're unbreakable. The end.
That was amazing, man. That was really good. Definitely a lot to unpack in that book. Oh, you got some claps in the comments as well. Yeah, guys, go ahead, comment, hit in the comments. Let us know what you thought about the book, and then also we'll get to some questions as well. But a lot to unpack here, man. I really like. I can tell. Well, one thing I can tell that it was recently written. Because of the way it started. So it definitely was written within a year since, it's been a year since the last election cycle. And then I also like how it really just kind of took you through history. And then it also kind of got into, I guess, what I call current history, things that have recently happened within, within history and stuff. And I just thought it was fantastic. Illustrations was on point. Like it was great.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to start with this, right? So I think your book is really relatable to a lot of students that may be listening right now. Can you tell us why you decided to start off with the most recent presidential election and how that was so emotional for so many people across the country?
Absolutely. Yeah. So the reason why I wrote this book in the first place, well, I'm a teacher. I teach in middle school in Atlanta. And I remember election day. I remember the next day I came to work, came to school, and I saw that a lot of my students were confused, they were distraught, and I saw a lot of fear that my students experienced. And because of that, I realized that there was something I needed to do. And a lot of times when I experience hard times or I see that people are going through a different or a difficult time, I try to use that pain as perfect as purpose. So I realized at that moment, I got to do something. I got to teach not only my kids, because I'm sure my kids feel this way, and especially with the recent events that's been happening in our world. I just wanted to inspire kids that no matter what we're going through, no matter what we face in the world, no matter what we see, we can use our history as evidence that we are resilient. And I wanted to teach kids that they are unbreakable no matter what. So this story is near and dear to my heart because a lot of people that I saw, including myself, was impacted not only by the election, but the results of the election, especially what we're seeing today. But I wanted kids to feel a sense of hope. There are times where things just are not clear and we just have questions and we're just not sure of how to move and how to be. But if we use lessons from the past as inspiration to keep pushing and keep having hope and move forward, that was the purpose of this book. And I wanted this story not only to be important for right now, but even down the line when we go through difficult times, we're unbroken and we will always be okay.
Yeah, definitely. I love that, man. Definitely great message there. Oh, we got somebody else in the comments says, "Good morning, everyone from
Mhm.
Milwaukee,
Oh,
Wisconsin." Appreciate you.
Wisconsin. Wow.
Okay. Hey, we got somebody from France joining us as well.
Okay. All
Appreciate
right. France. All right.
you
That's
tuning in.
amazing.
We got Scholars Academy for the Gifted all over the U.S. Okay. Come through.
Nice.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And we have this one from Nolan here. This book is definitely one to share with my local nonprofits, D9 mentoring programs, and schools. Love that. Yeah, yeah. So since he's talking about that, if you want to go ahead and share how people can get a hold of it, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, yeah. So the book is available. Well, this is actually my fourth book. So all of my books are available on Amazon. You can find them on Amazon and also through my website, denalwilmer.com. And I see it at the bottom of the screen there. So yeah, those are the two main places that you can get it from Amazon and my own personal website.
Okay, perfect. Sounds
Yes.
good. And then, oh yeah, that rhyming. Yes. Listen, nothing like a book that rhymes because it keep you
Yes,
even more engaged. You know what I'm saying? So love a good rhyming book as
for
well, right?
sure. For
Let's
sure.
talk about. Monet, we got. I'm sad I got here at the end. What is the name of the book?
Yes, the name of the book is The Unbreakable Book. I have it right here. So that's the main title, The Unbreakable Book. It's a kid's guide to resilience and hope for a better tomorrow. That's the name of the book.
Love that. And then I also want to talk about the history, right? I like how, like I was talking about earlier, I like how the book took us through time, took us through the history and stuff. Can you tell us? I mean, there were so many impactful moments that you talked about, so many impactful moments that have happened over the years. Can and it might be hard to pick one, but can you tell us, like, what do you think that, I guess, in a student's eyes, what students might see as like, the wow factor even, or like, kind of like, hey, if they can do that, I can do that too.
Yeah, yeah, and that was the purpose of the book. I wanted this book to tell our story because we're living in a time where there are individuals who want our story to be erased. And so I wanted to make sure that I told the truth and I told, different elements of Black history and things that we've overcome. But I also wanted students to get a sense of help, a sense of hope, because even from the beginning of time, like a lot of people, when they think of Black history, they go back to slavery. And that's not where our history started. We started off as kings and queens. Black people in particular in Africa were some of the most wealthy and most royal people. So that's hope within itself. Although we've had challenging times, I'm sure you heard throughout the book, we've experienced difficult times, but we had a lot of firsts. We had a lot of breakthroughs. We had a lot of accomplishments that students should be proud of. So when we think about things that's happening in the world, although, there might be challenging times that we face today, but there's still so much to be proud of. And it's funny because when I wrote the book, I had a list of so many different things I wanted to bring about. I wanted to, mention, the first Black president, of course, Kamala Harris and her story, and Claudette Colvin and Shirley Chisholm. And when I made the list, it was so many things I could have included. So that was a difficult task for me to kind of break it down and figure out, okay, what are the highlights that I can include? Because I didn't want the book to be too long, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was also inspiring within itself, because with me listing so many things that we should be proud of, there is a lot to be grateful for. There's a lot of positive that's happened in our history. So we've experienced some hard times, but we should also be grateful for the breakthroughs and accomplishments that we've experienced as well. So that's what I wanted kids to get, a sense of hope, even through the challenges.
Yeah, of course. And then I also like, of course, because we're dealing with young kids here. So a lot of this stuff they didn't have a chance to see, but I also like how you did put the recent stuff that they actually had a chance to live through and see. So
Yes.
that was pretty cool too. And we got Addie John Henry Hall says, Katie Hall, Educational Foundation Incorporated, Gary, Indiana. Appreciate you guys so much for watching and
All
tuning
right,
in.
welcome guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, okay. More international. We got from London, UK, but I'm Guyanese. I guess I think I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
One of the father's side is the UK are watching and behind you. Well, most of them very multicultural.
Wow, this is worldwide. I love it.
And then we got another question. Dania says, was your process writing this book a lot different than the others? If so, how so?
Okay, so all of my books are special in that they're personal and they rhyme. They rhyme. That was one task that I wanted to make sure I upheld with this book. I wanted to continue that rhyming. The only difference with this book is that I definitely took a lot of time to make sure that everything I mentioned was historically accurate. And I wanted to use appropriate language that kids would understand. With my previous books, they were more so personal stories. But with this, when I said I listed all the different events and people I wanted to talk about, I actually did some research to make sure, okay, does this fit well? When did this happen? I wanted to be in a chronological order. So that was the only different aspect. It took a sense of research, so to speak, just to make sure I was telling the truth.
Yeah, definitely. Great question there. Appreciate
Definitely.
you guys
Very good question.
asking that. We got another one says, peace and grace, Philly in the house. Okay,
Philly. I love Philly. Wow.
And then we got another one, Nolan. Hi, Mr. Wilmer. I appreciate you gifting this book to our children. Kings and queens, stay up. Oh, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
for
Appreciate
that.
y'all staying active in the comments. Yeah, we appreciate that. Love that comments, all that good stuff. So appreciate you guys doing that. If y'all have some more questions, we got a couple of more minutes left. So go ahead, drop those questions in the chat. I want to go to this, right? So when we talk about kind of where we are, right? And of course, I know you said this book is to give people hope, right?
Yeah.
What primary message do you hope that the students take away? And, what hope do you want the students to see?
So I can talk about how I got to my mindset of having hope. Like I mentioned, election results and recent events, is troubling for many people, including myself. And when I wrote this book, the inspiration that I took from was just me thinking of how far we've come. Although things are difficult and we see a lot of things that in the news that may not be ideal and are essentially heartbreaking, when I actually sat down and I reflected on how I wanted this book to go, I thought about my ancestors. I thought about the past. I thought about the fact that we have been through many, many difficult times and we've always overcome. Granted, things are not perfect. They never will be, but we have made progress. And when I reflect on the past and think about all the strides we've made since then, I started to believe within myself that this is no different. This is no different. So when it comes to hope, a lot of times we can lean on our story and things that we've gone through to know that we have what it takes. And if we've gone through it before, we can go through it again. And that gives me a sense of hope. And that was one of the reasons why I wrote the book, to give others a sense of hope too. So I just encourage students to know their story, know their history, and know different examples that we've overcome in the past. And if we did it before, we can certainly do it again.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that. Oh, we got a question from a student. Student says, you mentioned you made a list of things Black people should be proud of. What are some of the things on your list that you didn't get to put in the book? I love that question. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great question. Oh man. Some individuals I did not put in the book. I really wanted to talk more about recent history, like entertainers, so to speak. A lot of the people that I mentioned are political figures, but however, I wanted students to also know that you don't have to be in politics to make a difference, right? So there are many individuals, musicians and actors and athletes that have definitely made a big contribution to inspiring others. And the more and more I was listing those particular people, I'm like, okay, if I mention this person, I got to mention this person. If I do this, I got to do that. So I kind of decided not to include like like celebrities and people in the entertainment industry as much, only because the list was getting way too long. So I'd really focus on, I guess, those that made a difference when it comes to like civil rights and politics and, different things, different aspects of our rights that we have today in our country. So there was a lot of people, but like I said, once I made that list, I really had to tone it down and keep my focus on certain individuals that I did include.
Yeah, definitely agree, because there's so much when it comes to our music and movies and shows and all that stuff. So much stuff that we love, and so many people that have made such huge contributions and stuff. So definitely. that would have been a long novel.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I have to say this too. I did mention Dr. King. However, I wanted to also allow students to know that Dr. King's wife was also amazing in her own right. I said that she was more than just a wife. A lot of times when you ask people, who's Coretta Scott King? They say, oh, that was Dr. King's wife. I said, okay, she was, but she was more than that, So there were certain elements of the book that I wanted to get students to understand that they may not necessarily go for or think about first.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Denal. We appreciate you so much for sharing your book with us. We appreciate you coming on and joining us for another edition of Students with King Reading Corner. Thank you so much again. And guys, appreciate you all so much for staying tuned in for this edition of Students with King Reading Corner. Before we go, we want to remind you guys to take our survey. Allows us to let us know how we are doing here at the King Center when it comes to Students with King Reading Corner. Lets us know what you guys thought about the program. So go ahead and scan that QR code in the top corner of your screen. And guys, appreciate y'all so much for tuning in to this edition of Students with King Reading Corner. Thank y'all for allowing me to serve as your moderator. I'm Tyreek Wynn, morning news anchor for 41 NBC News here in Macon. And guys, we'll see you guys next month on another edition of Students with King Reading Corner. See you guys next time.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bernice A. King.
And I'm Dr. Kimberly P. Johnson.
And we are the co-authors of
It Starts With Me. Well, it starts with me.
No, I think it really starts with me. No. Well, maybe it just starts with you.
It starts with you.
This is a book for children and the rest of the world about love. A powerful word that really can change and transform our world. Now, this girl here is Amora. So Amora is going to take us on a journey around the world with her friends, talking about how we can be loved.
Thank you so much for reading this book. It Starts With Me. Dr. King's vision is coming to life, and you guys are going to carry that vision into the world. Have fun reading.
We want our children and you parents to be loved in the way you speak, in the way you act, and in the way you think. That's what it starts with me about. It starts with me. I am the one who can fix the world with love.
It starts with me.
We join hands with people around the world who yearn for peace. We are tired of other people making decisions for us. We want to control what happens to us. We want to write our own history. We want to tell our own story because we feel that we know it better than anyone else.